Hello everyone, this is Juan Vasquez. In this screencast, I'm going to be talking about something that tripped me up early on when I was writing my first Groovy scripts. The difference between scripts and classes generated by the Groovy compiler. For this demo, I'll be using TextMate 2. If you'd like to follow along, here's a web page where you can download it. If you'd rather just use the Groovy console, you're more than welcome to do that as well. And that can be done by typing in Groovy console on your command line. The Groovy console is more than capable of executing these examples. If you're not familiar with the Groovy console, this upper white section is where you enter your code, and this yellow section below is where your output is displayed. You can execute by hitting this button here. You can clear your window with Command W. I will go ahead and close the console since I won't be using it for our examples. The first thing I'm going to show you is what many of us do with the Groovy console. Just some code to test it out in the form of a script. As you can see, we get the number 4 as expected. Next, I'm going to move over to a class. Here's a very simple dog class. It has a name and a static main in order for it to run. Let's run it. As you can see, hi is printed to the output. Let's see what happens when we write code outside of the class definition. We get a multiple compilation errors exception. Startup failed. Dog.groovy. So this is something that tripped me up really early on when I was writing Groovy. And the reason is that Groovy is trying to be helpful in creating a script class named after the file. So now you've got two classes, one that you've defined and one that Groovy tries to define as a script class. And I'll explain more in the next example. So unlike Java, Groovy will allow you to have multiple classes in the same file. So here I've got a dog and a cat class. And I'm using the named argument constructor that comes auto-magically with Groovy. So we'll go ahead and run this. Output as expected, no errors. So let's take a look at the files. So we're going to go ahead and compile these. Okay, let's take a look at what got generated. Notice we've got a cat class, a dog class, dogs and cat class. Let's take a look at what those look like. We can see that cat implements Groovy Lang Groovy object. Let's take a look at dog. Dog also implements Groovy Lang Groovy object. Let's take a look at what the dogs and cats.class looks like. Dogs and cats extends Groovy Lang script. So because there was more than one class in there, Groovy tries to be helpful and it'll extend this script class named after the file name. So that is why we had issue with this file earlier when we had code in there. So what it was trying to do was it generated the dog class as a Groovy Lang Groovy object as up here, but then it also tried to create another dog class that extended the Groovy lang script. Hence our errors. This is something that tripped me up early on in my Groovy coding, and I hope that you find this useful. Thanks for watching.